We do this not to erase our particular stories, but to articulate what we can about Asian American contexts. And we're a diverse group. We don't agree on everything. Discernment. Christians through the centuries have lived into the question of how to faithfully follow Jesus in their contexts. People groups across generations and cultures have long had to discern how to live through scripture, prayer, community, and their contexts. To do this well, we need to know God and also know ourselves. Discernment is more of an art than a science, but key principles include the following. 1. Looking at scripture. What was God saying to the people of that time? What can we see God saying to us in our context around this topic? This requires understanding our context, our cultures, families, and our time. 2. Seeking out wise counsel from mentors, trusted friends, and family. 3. Praying and listening to the Lord alongside Christian community. 4. Choosing and trying out the path you're discerning, debriefing and evaluating, adjusting and discerning again. God is gracious and the Good Shepherd. There are many topics that do not have direct scriptural commands related to them. For example, dating in our context would be totally foreign to the ancient Near East. Thus, the importance of knowing our contexts, ourselves, and growing in our relationship with God in community. There are many sources for learning more about discernment, including Gordon Smith's Listening to God in Times of Choice and Elizabeth Liebert's The Way of Discernment. This book is an outworking of our experiences personally and as ministers among Asian American students and communities. It is another voice you can consider for discerning what it means to be a faithful follower of Jesus as an Asian American. Think of it as wise counsel from mentors at a distance. Isn't that what books usually are? If we were in person with you to talk about these topics, we would ask you to share more about your context, preferably over some good food. Your responses would probably elicit more questions from us, and we'd want to pray with and for you. So while we can't cover every topic, situation, or nuance, you'll hear stories of discernment in Asian American contexts. Recovering our names. I vividly remember my white kindergarten teacher mispronouncing my name, Si Ying, at our graduation ceremony. Sabrina Zing Chan, she said. I couldn't explain that my parents had translated the Mandarin pronunciation, Si Ying, for official documents, while at home I was actually known as Si Wing or Ah Wing, Cantonese, or as Dai Bo, Big Treasure, because my younger sister was Little Treasure. Our names as Asian Americans have been mispronounced by others and made to fit into white American norms and narratives. We are recovering our names, learning our stories, and those of our family and communities. Race and racial dynamics by construct change and shift over time. So what we say here is our thinking now, and as things change, our discernment is ongoing as we adapt and grow. In a prayer time with some Asian American leaders in my organization, we discerned that God was reminding us of our old maps. We had grown up in our Asian ethnic churches and learned the way to do things, the importance of potlucks and other food events, hospitality, and building strong relationships, for instance. We had gained new maps by being a part of a multi-ethnic campus ministry that gave different skills. At times, it felt like the new maps were better than the old maps, and we looked down on the old maps. But it's as if the old maps are topographical and the new maps are street maps. To really walk somewhere, we need both. A street might be there, but it's a steep uphill. The best path on a street map isn't actually the quickest because of the topography, so we hold both maps together. In this audiobook, we continue to hold together Asian and Western as we share stories of discernment and following Jesus. We invite you into this journey of learning and recovering our names as Asian American Christians and hope you also feel seen.
Part 1. Learning Our Stories. Chapter 1. Knowing Our Names by E. David de Leon. My older sister had a delightful nickname for me growing up, Booger. In fact, she still calls me by this name today, albeit with a shortened, slightly more dignified version, Boog.